This is for Facebook, and can you go on, start again? It's on again.
All the way to the beginning?
Yeah. No, just, that's already recorded. You can start with where you left off, where I lost video.
Okay, so let me think. You can
You were talking about how anyone who gets in the position of being Secretary
I wrote, anyone who becomes Secretary of Defense or Director of the CIA is going to be a murderer or killer.
Do you think that holds for the president too?
And then I put something underneath that, and I said, I think if Gandhi or Martin Luther King were Secretary of Defense or Director of the CIA, there's only a few people like that could get that job.
But basically what you're saying is that the system itself creates criminals in a sense.
Yes.
It creates war criminals by the nature of the system.
Yes, Leon Panetta is definitely a war criminal. I don't know if he intended, well...
so he might have good intentions, but he's doing bad stuff.
Yes. I mean, I believe truly, like Bill Clinton did, he believed that he believed and believes probably still that he was doing the right thing.
But that doesn't mean that he's not doing really terrible things.
I think he is a sincere, intelligent man. Very sincere, intelligent man who tried very hard to serve his country and the interest of peace.
But basically, I mean, at what point do you part ways and say this person, you have to judge them on their actions and not on their sincere intentions?
Well, I don't know if I want to judge him. I was going to call him a master of war on the sign. That was my original idea, was to call him a master of war, and then I
but isn't he kind of masterminding wars and what he did in the CIA and the DOD?
I'd like to not name call him.
Okay, so you're just calling him as a person, as Leon Panetta, and have a personal relationship with him.
I did have a personal relationship with Leon Panetta.
So you actually talked to him in person?
Yes, and that's an interesting story that might be longer than you want to film.
Well, I would be willing to interview you at another time in a place where you are willing to. We have time and enough video to interview at length and put it on IndieBay or on YouTube and Facebook.
Sure.
Is there anything you'd like to add to this? Because I only have a limited amount of video left.
It's a great story, but in 15 seconds I'll say we were a witness to some things in Nicaragua that we told Leon Panetta about.
When he was a congressman.
When he was a congressman.
And he did. And what do you think he did with them, with the information?
He was part of the Boland Amendment that made Ronald Reagan a criminal.
Right.
And anyone who can make Ronald Reagan a criminal.
Well, he was already doing criminal stuff, whether he was recognized when it's not.
But to make him a criminal.
Legally, yeah.
Right.
Can I ask you this? Do you think part of why Panetta is this way is because of the shift in the Democratic Party towards the right and towards corporatism?
Well, the Democratic Party has always been part of corporatism.
Well, not as much in the 70s and the 60s. I mean, to a lesser extent, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, with Clinton, they totally embraced corporate America.
Yeah. I know, but you're asking me to say your line. And
no, I'm not saying your line. I'm just saying, do you think that basically part of Leon Panetta basically coming out to where he is now from where he was when you dealt with him is because of the course of the Democratic Party and the way the party moved and the way it evolved?
Well,
I mean,
I would recommend anybody who sees my face right now listen to the recording of the conversation of Amy Goodman's conversation with Bill Clinton on Election Day.
Do you know the name of that segment?
Well, you can just Google Amy Goodman, Bill Clinton, November, whatever the election day was, 2000. It really proved that Bill Clinton was a smart guy.
Oh, I don't say he's not smart.
It sounds like he believed in what he was doing, and Amy was great.
Do you think that Tony Blair didn't believe in what he was doing with Clinton? And I mean, he said that basically he was a very immoral person who had a personal relationship with God, and yet he went along with everything that Clinton did and everything that Bush did.
I don't know that much about. I know things about Panetta. I know stuff about Reagan. I don't know much.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to me. Can you again state your name?
Shalom, Dream Peace.
Are you on Facebook or on?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and
What are you on Facebook? I'd like you to add you as a Facebook friend.
Shalom, Dream Peace Compost.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
And I encourage people to take a name that speaks to them of peace.
Okay, great. Are you Jewish?
Yes.
Well, I'm Jewish too. Actually, I'm an anti-Zionist Jew. My My original last name was Cohen, was changed to Colby during the 1950s because of anti-Semitism. So I have a personal relationship to what's happening in the Mideast, and especially with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Well, I don't know if I call it a conflict because it's very much one-sided, but to the occupation, basically.
Yeah, we can talk another time.
Okay, we can. I'd like to talk to you another time. I think you have a lot to say.
What's your name?
My name is John Cohen/Colby. On Facebook, I'm John Cohen. In other venues, I'm John Colby. I'm a guerrilla advocate.
C-O-H-E-N or C-O-H?
C-O-H-E-N.
Okay.
Originally it was Khan, spelled the other way, but then it was Cohen. They changed it to Cohen during the 1950s.
Okay, I'm just going to see what's going on.
Okay.
Been here a few years.
Are you a local, Rick?
Where'd you go to?
I went to Harbor
Okay.
and Brook Knoll. I went to elementary.
Okay. Yeah, I was live at Green Acres, Del Mar, SoCal.
Oh, so
South, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So,
Do you have any? Do you have any feelings about Leon Panetta? I mean, why are you here? Are you a security?
just making church peaceful.
Well, I mean, so
Security.
why aren't there other police officers here doing that? Why is the deputy chief of police here doing that?
Oh, because I happen to be in the neighborhood.
Oh, you were just happened to live here and you were driving by and they said, call him in, we need him?
No, I'm just checking it out.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rick.
For peace. That's what happened. I see, I just snored and I bumped my head on the window and then
So Rick Martinez basically was just in the neighborhood and he got a call from dispatch, and so that's why he's here protecting the public rather than Officer Azua or Officer or Community Service Officer Barnett or Officer or Sergeant or now Lieutenant Christian Lamas. So that's kind of interesting.